Hello everybody, it is Brawlfan1 here for yet another live stream with you guys. And with me tonight, I got Danny, Brian, and Ryan, who is somewhere. Well, so what we're doing tonight, we're doing another stream addressing mistakes and issues regarding the what if characters, specifically for the past. Who opened a Coke can? My immersion regarding the past 10 characters that we did. So it's going to be from characters 21 to 30, which consists of Shovel Knight, Slime, Hat Kid, Linkle, Eggman, Rayman, Cuphead, Phoenix Wright, Paper Mario, and Undyne. We're going to talk about any possible mistakes in the video, maybe issues that you guys have, and I'd also love to hear you guys' ideas and opinions on just what you think could be cool for movesets too. Let's go ahead and get this started then. So starting off with character number 21, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight and Black Knight. So they're technically the same video, Echo Fighters, regardless of such. Were there any mistakes in the video? Like, I'm not talking about I'm talking about any actual incorrect information, like maybe a spelling error, anything like that. Like to start off simple.
It was missing butt mode.
That was clearly the biggest mistake. All right, no
and
mistakes.
see, Scrambled has the idea.
Just the side smash being a projectile wasn't necessary. Mega Man would have a word with you there. And Villager. And I'm sure there's other characters that projectile side smash. Yeah, Olimar.
Yeah, Olimar. Yeah, technically Olimar has one.
Yeah. He has too many recovery options? Wait.
Do I have to remind you that Meta Knight exists?
Literally all of Meta Knight specials are recovery options.
Fight me!
He has the Repeller Dagger and the Throwing Anchor. That's only two.
Some people are bringing up Rivals of Aether.
I remember some people saying that the moveset from the moveset I gave Shovel Knight here was a little similar to Rivals of Aether. I couldn't tell you. I've never seen it. Like, if there are similarities, it's more than likely because we used the same sources, the same source material. So, you think the Toe Anchor would only go as far as Little Max? I don't know about that. Because I think if you look at Shovel Knight in correspondence to how he looks in the game, maybe it'd go about as high as, I want to say, Mario's Jump Punch. It certainly wouldn't go very high, that's for certain. But he's a heavy character, with the exception of a few, not very many heavies actually have that high of a recovery anyway. I'm gonna say that the Toe Anchor goes about as high as probably Mario's.
I see B Tovar says, I think his fish should be his side tilt because some characters have add-ons, and his charged shovel swipe should be his side smash.
I get the logic, because the charge slash is literally a charge move. I get the logic. I get that. And that was something I kind of knew people were gonna wonder about a lot going into the video. My reasoning for making the gauntlets the side smash, the gauntlets, I wanted to have the extra added on ability where if you charge it long enough, it becomes the Ghost Glove, to turn it into a makeshift projectile that can only appear when you charge it long enough, and you really can't do that for a side tilt.
I'm seeing a couple people, I guess they're suggesting, considering he uses a shovel, having some more berry attacks.
I hate getting buried in Smash. Even characters who have only one berry move, I think that's too much.
Well, this is Shovel Knight.
I get it. I know. I let him. I gave him a berry move. I gave him a berry move for his down throw. I think I did that anyway. Yeah, I did. He doesn't need any more than that.
No, you see, BJ, it goes into that idea where it's do you really want more moves on your character that can bury people? I mean, if you main the character, yes. Maybe
use the fishing rod for his grab? I don't know about that, because it's not really a fishing rod, it's a fishing anchor. It's not like Isabel's thing where she has an actual hook on the end of it. Shovel Knight has a whole anchor. That's not a grab. You're just nailing someone with an anchor at that point.
What if in team battles, his berry moves could unbury his teammate? He could dig them out if they were, if your teammate was buried by Inkling, could Shovel Knight dig them out?
That's a smart idea. I kind of like that, actually, because Shovel Knight does more digging up than he does burying. That's the thing.
To unbury somebody, because right now you've only got, actual burying would be down throw. So, how... So would that just be a matter of,
His
okay, if he
down
wants
tilt.
to unbury...
His down tilt has him use the trench blade, which is literally him digging up dirt. So.
Okay.
But no, you see, if it was a down throw, though, here's what you do. You'd watch your opponent get buried. They try to go in for the smash, but that be the bait. He grabs them, and he digs them out while throwing the guy at the same time.
What if his down tilt has a small chance of digging up an item? That'd be cool, but everyone would hate it because of the RNG. I mean, look what happened to Hero.
Yeah, see, Hero's banned in Australia. We don't need that for Shovel Knight.
They don't know how to. Yeah, they don't know how to have fun in Australia. I love RNG. That's why I like having RNG in certain movesets. I love the idea of that. I think it'd be cooler if it was just food items, maybe. That'd be cool. Either way. All right, let's go ahead and move right along then. Maria, thank you. Slime.
Yeah, the character that nobody requested, but BJ wanted to do anyway.
And now everybody wants it.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people liked it, so I'm glad.
But Slime is in Smash!
And so was Shovel Knight. So was there any issues with Slime?
Mega Turtle asks, what would you replace Frizz, since the hero has it?
No, I don't see any reason to, because Frizz is actually one of the most common spells that Slimes generally learn. I mean, that'd be like giving Luigi a different move aside from a fireball just because Mario has a fireball. It's not that big a deal.
Red Wing Gamer says, turn into a heal slime for the grab, using the tentacles.
I think the biggest reason why I chose not to do that was to avoid making all of the throws just heal slimes. Like I had the down air have him become a heal slime, and then for the back throw he became a heal slime.
Jason asks, how would slime grab items? Would he hold it in its mouth, or will it pop out of his head?
Either on his mouth, or they just stick to his body. Again, he's sticky.
So but I guess what would you do if slime ended up with slime ended up with the gun, or ended up with a scythe or something that actually requires movement?
He'd probably just shoot him from his mouth. Imagine. Also, thank you, Danny, for specifically using gun as an example. All right, so I guess I'm not seeing any issues with slimes. Let's go ahead and move right along then. Hat Kid. The absence of the Nyakuza outfit. My biggest thing about the Nyakuza outfit is that it really wouldn't be the whole outfit. It would just be the varsity gear, wouldn't it? Because the actual hat, the cat ears and the mask, that's just for the brewing hat, I believe. So again, I'm not saying the Nyakuza outfit couldn't be an outfit. It very well could. I think I make mention of this in the video too, how different costumes could also show different hats. The dance is the smug dance. Sure. That's I called it an arm dance because she dances with her arms, but
either way, Hat Kid is telling you you're bad, and she won.
Either way, she's telling you you're garbage, so. The moped. Okay, that was actually something that I saw a lot of people bring up during the comments, and it's actually an idea that I really like. I made Hat Kid's side special the sprint hat. Now with the sprint hat, that is a hat that lets you run fast, but with the proper pin attached, it allows Hat Kid to ride a moped. So I do like the idea of the moped, but the thing is, it wouldn't work the same way with how I made it, and that's nothing wrong with that. It would the moped would be an awesome idea for a side special. It would just have to work differently than how I did it, because with how I made it pretty much work similar to Ike or Luigi's side special. If Hat Kid were getting the moped, the moped would make it work more like Wario or Bowser Jr.
Brianna asks, why isn't Up B the Dweller mask? She could have a platform appear while she swaps to the Dweller mask and use it to stand on the platform.
I don't like that idea. I really don't. But you know what? Because I know a bunch of people about that. I don't much care for that idea myself. But you know what? I actually did think of an idea for the Dweller's mask, and I was actually planning on making a doodle for it and posting it in my community post earlier. I didn't have time to finish it. But I was thinking maybe to actually incorporate the Dweller's mask, since that was the one mask that I was missing, and I couldn't think originally of a way to incorporate it. What if it was her shield? Because The Dweller's Mask, that's a mask that makes invisible platforms solid. Like normally, well, ghost platforms, I should say. Like platforms that normally, like, you know, you can walk through, it makes them solid. So the idea of her turning, putting the Dweller's Mask on to make a bubble around herself appear, that makes more sense for the Dweller's Mask. The idea of it being a shield. So then, in corpse of her cosmetic gimmick, whenever she shields, she'd then be wearing the Dweller's Mask. So that was actually something I thought of actually only a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to bring it up more, but I never got a chance. So now I am. I know another thing that people talked about that they would have preferred. They would have preferred if the ice hat would have been a down special, not the down air. My whole thing on that is that it's literally just a move that drops outside of characters like Kirby, Bowser, and Yoshi, who are older characters. Honestly, if you guys want my opinion, I think their down specials probably should have been something. Well, Kirby's I think is fine because his actually turns him invincible. But a dropping down air, I think a dropping attack, I think is fine. It's just a down air. Plus,
even then, like in the case of something like Bowser, he has that as a down air too.
Yeah, like Bowser literally has 2 falling attacks: his down air and his down special. That's redundant. I found no reason in that. I honestly think Bowser should have a different down air. I really do. If anything, change his current or down special. I should have said. I think Bowser's current down special should be his down air. That's my idea on that. But in terms of Hat Kid, the ice hats I felt should be fine as a down air. Well, for one thing, where would the time hat go then? I wanted to be able to incorporate every hat that I could, and I didn't want to make any of them final smashes. I wanted them to be incorporated properly so Hat Kid could actually be wearing them. It was killing me before, but I couldn't get the Dweller's Mask properly. I remember seeing a lot of people talk about how Bow Kid would have just been fine as a costume. Gonna say no to that because she has a bow, not a top hat. And here's the thing. If I didn't make... For the context of this moveset, I should say. If the moveset was made differently, then sure. Bow Kid would be just fine as a costume. But for the context of how I made this moveset, with the back air as well as the throws, those wouldn't work the same way. Because Bow Kid has a bow, not a top hat.
Pack neck.
No swearing! I already told you! I don't see anything else for Hat Kid. Let's go ahead and move on. Linkle. So was there anything about Linkle that anyone had any general issues with? Oh, and real quickly, to everyone who just kept saying, so she's just another Link.
Heathen!
What are you saying? She's just another Link. She didn't even have a sword.
You heathens!
It's like,
repent for your sin!
That's like adding Bowser Jr. and saying, oh, that's just another Bowser.
Stickmaster 500 said, I did say in the video, but her cuckoos should flinch since the assist trophy and in the games do.
I think my idea for why I chose not to do that was because of the golden cuckoo. Like, because that guy deals like a lot of damage, and I don't want people getting upset at the idea of something not only doing a lot of damage, but making it easy for people to get comboed. They could cause flinching, and it would need to be balanced to be able to do so properly is all. You know what? It could be where the normal cuckoo... Well, no, hold on. No, that's right. The normal cuckoo doesn't attack. It's only the golden one that does. And that guy deals a lot of damage, yeah. Because I made it like that because that's how it is in Hyrule Warriors. Because this special is specifically referencing the side mission, where you gotta protect the cuckoo, the baby cuckoo is eating, and if you can do so long enough to the point where he can fill himself up, he turns into a golden cuckoo.
Hannah asks, can Linkle's cuckoos be grabbed?
No. Nope, only attacked.
Can you pocket the cuckoos?
Only when they're airborne. You can reflect or pocket the cuckoo when they're being tossed, but the moment they touch the ground, they're no longer projectiles. So now, after that, now. All right, let's move along to Dr. Eggman.
White Oak says Eggman should have as much moves referencing his modern mechs as much as his classic mechs.
Well, I mean, when most of your modern mechs are just referencing your classic mechs, what are you gonna do?
I know, yes, you heavily reference the classic stuff, but I think maybe that's what he's mentioning is, considering you're using a lot of, like, the regular badniks, why not incorporate an egg pawn?
Egg pawns really are just kind of generic, honestly. Like, compared to the old badniks that really are really unique. Eggman's Egg Mobile should take more damage than 80%, 80's too low. I'm gonna disagree on that, if only because Eggman is a heavy character. Plus, I made his moveset a little bit stronger than average on normal to compensate for that anyway. The whole idea in theming behind Eggman is that he's supposed to be taking total control. He's the villain. He's trying to take over the world. But if you take advantage of his weaknesses, then you'll be fine.
Does Eggman take more damage if he's hit directly when he's in the mech, like how it is with Bowser Jr.?
No. How it works is that he actually takes reduced damage overall while he's in the mech. But only Eggman himself does. Like, his damage percent meter actually does increase slower than everybody else's while he's in the mech. But the Egg Mobile itself takes normal damage. But that's hidden. Like, you will never know when that thing's gonna break. But that's hidden. And then when Eggman is outside of the mech and vulnerable, then he takes normal damage. Let's try to think of a ratio here. Let's say, for the amount of time it would take to break Eggman's mech, which would require 80% of damage, Eggman, by that point, when that happens, would maybe only be about 60% damage in? And then, speaking of which, actually, I remember seeing some people talk about how while he's out of the mech, he should have his jetpack, like we see him have in both CD as well as Lost World. I decided against that, if only because I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of exploiting his weakness. And then I know a bunch of other people were talking about taunts. I didn't want to give Eggman outside of the mech any taunts, because why would he be taunting when he's at a disadvantage? Like, I feel like, at that point, it's like Eggman, I feel like, is smart enough to want to get away when he's vulnerable. He wouldn't be taunting. He'd only start taunting once he gains the upper hand back up. His final smash would be the gigantic laser from Sonic Unleashed? It's kind of niche, don't you think? I mean, I know some people talk about the Egg Dragoon being a final smash, which is also a really cool idea. I just went with the egg with the Death Egg robot myself because to me that's the most iconic one. Eggman's gimmick, have a little icon to show. If we were to give a signifier, I'd say if anything, the best kind of signifier would be the Egg Mobile itself smoking, like maybe showing just some visible damage on it, or like emitting smoke. So like once it's like smoke, I would say different from how you look when you're in rage, like naturally in Smash. But then like maybe like showing visible damage on the Egg Mobile to give you a signifier. Oh dear, it's about to bust.
A couple people are asking about the Eggman Nega ult.
I have that as a color, not really a costume. It could be a costume though. I find I probably could have just made it a costume, honestly. Is there really a big difference between Eggman and Eggman Nega? I don't think so.
Not really.
It probably could have.
Yeah, I don't.
I made it a color, not really a It could have been a costume though. Honestly, it probably could have. Rayman. All right, Brian, you're up.
Brian is not here. He is at work.
Are you kidding me? This man. I
Yep.
swear. When did he leave?
A while ago.
And
He
no
left
one
like
even
he left like 20 minutes ago.
Gosh dang it.
But that being said, he did bring up a list of questions and such. So I'll go on ahead and read those. Like he had to get ready to work, so he's already got answers to some questions that he had seen in the video. So if you guys have any of these questions, here are his answers. Too much Rayman Arena representation in the moveset. When thinking of a moveset for Rayman and Smash, my mind tunneled to taking moves from a fighting game, and with that, Rayman Arena just took over my mind. With that in mind, if there was less arena representation and I thought of using other things, Rayman's side special could be the walking missile that runs at opponents and blows up. Basically like Bowser Jr.'s Mecha Cooper, but faster. Number 2, more Rayman Hoodlum Havoc representation. Originally, I was going to make the Lockjaw Rayman's grab, hence why I still made his grab a tether recovery. But after going over it with BJ, he said giving him a grappling hook for a grab seemed a bit extra for a Rayman game.
It kind of was, honestly. Like, this is already a character that had the ability to reach long distances naturally with his hands. A tether I felt was too much.
Glowbox's red alt being in Legends. I originally didn't believe the origin to Glowbox's original red skin was canon due to the origin story being part of unlockable backstories for the characters. Rayman had one of these which explained how he got his hair, which doesn't make sense in context to Rayman's creation due to being made by Batilla and he was made with that hair. And apparently in that origin story, Rayman's hair not only migrated to his head hobo style, but is sentient. So forgive me if I thought the rest are in similar vein.
I saw someone earlier say that they thought Rayman's moveset was too basic. That's appropriate, honestly. Rayman's a pretty basic game. I do believe that a character's moveset should represent theming not only behind the character, but also behind their games as well. Would he have a disjointed hurt box? I don't know.
That's actually an interesting point.
Yeah, that is, because we don't have any characters who have separating limbs in this game, so interesting question. I couldn't tell you. I guess? Probably. I imagine he probably would. I guess there was the issue about Glowbox as well, like how, I guess I should go ahead and bring this up now for anyone who probably hasn't seen yet. In regards to the character Blue, Pokemon Trainer Blue, I no longer consider him an Echo Fighter. I was wrong to call him that. I thank everybody who brought to my attention the article that Sakurai gave regarding Isabelle and why she wasn't an Echo Fighter, and that's because her body proportions were different from villagers. Pretty much from what I gathered from the article, what makes an Echo Fighter is whether or not the model skeleton of a character can fit into a different model. So scaling is one thing. You can scale any model. I make 3D animations. I've made models in the past. Scaling a model skeleton is no big deal to fit it into a new model. But when you need to adjust proportions or even add limbs or even take away limbs, that's a different story. If you need to do that, then that character can no longer be an Echo Fighter. And when you look at Rayman compared to Glowbox, yeah, Glowbox has arms and elbows. He has a completely different kind of head. He has a thicker body. Glowbox would need a completely different model from Rayman, a model skeleton from Rayman. So as such, Glowbox could not be an Echo Fighter. Semi-clone, though. That's fine. Because the whole idea that we did for Glowbox was that Brian and I loved the idea of Glowbox being like a heavier, less wonky Rayman. Because Rayman would have a lot of disjointed attacks, whereas Glowbox would be kind of a more traditional character, but with a little more weight and strength on him. Alright, so let's move right along then. Cuphead. So, get one thing out of the way real quick. An actual mistake in the video, and this goes back to what I said earlier about me not being able to count. Regarding the spread shots, I said in the video that he would only shoot 3, but after looking back at it, I realized, oh wait, no, there's not 3. And for some reason, I thought there were 4, so I put 4, when in reality, there are 5. There are 5 shots. I just can't count. So that's an actual mistake in the video that I made. My apologies about that. Mugman should be an Echo Fighter because they think different and their eyes are different along with their straws. That doesn't mean anything. Like, their costumes are just fine. Like, look at the hero. The hero has 4 alts that are all they're all pretty different from one another. Like, their body types are identical. Cuphead and Mugman do not have any distinctive mechanical differences, I should say, that would require for Mugman to be an Echo. So that's why I felt he was just fine as a costume.
Yeah, it's like their costumes may have slightly different colors. Like, you know, Cuphead is known for being black and red. Mugman may be known as like black and blue. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like that's pretty much the only big difference between the two. Well, that are their noses. But even then, it's like they still play exactly the same if you were to play the actual game. So it's like, yeah, there would be no real reason to make him an Echo Fighter.
Yeah.
2D or 3D?
3D. I know plenty of people would say that he should be 2D. I think 3D is probably more appropriate though in this case. Would he be mute or have actual noises? That's a Sakurai question. He could have noises because he talks.
I like roller coasters and hot dogs and tilt-a-whirl and hot dogs and flying swings and hot dogs and throwing up in roller coasters.
How OP would you think he'd be? I don't think he'd be OP at all. Like, I know a lot of people talk about how they don't like how much damage the shots do. They think that's too much. I disagree. I feel like if they did any less, they'd be not worth using. Because people seem to forget. Like, when you shoot these shots, aside from the homing shots, the chaser, aside from the chaser, which is the weakest shot, anyway, you have to be able to aim all your shots. And do you really expect your opponents in Smash to be standing still? No, that's not how people play Smash. People are moving all the time.
Nikor asks, when you take a stock from a teammate, do you think his spirit would look at the screen and word out "thank you" like in the game?
That'd be a cool attention to detail. That'd be funny, actually. I like that idea.
Red Wing Gamer says, how about Cuphead's up B deal more damage to pink opponents?
No, because I brought this up in the video. That'd make it way too situational. I'm just gonna say no to that. Also, you know what? Now that we bring this up, can we talk about the Mario Fireball thing real quick? Because I got a little salty over that.
What about it?
Because I made a point saying how I'm breaking the parry rule by letting Cuphead parry off of non-pink things, and I made that whole list of things of Smash characters doing, where that they shouldn't doing in Smash that they shouldn't naturally be able to do outside of Smash. Mario being able to use fireballs without a fire flower was one of them. Luigi too, and people in the comments kept saying, Mario can use fireballs naturally without a fire flower now. You know that, right? No, he cannot. The reference I know most of you are keep going back to is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. That's it. That was where Mario learned the fire hand. My problem with that is he never uses it again after that game. In majority, if not all Mario games after that, Mario once again needs the fire flower in order to use Super Mario RPG. Okay, there you go. There's another example of that right there. Thank you. Regardless, Mario needs the fire flower after that in all subsequent games, even in direct sequels to that. Meaning that no, he really can't. Like, Mario RPG, I'm gonna waive that one because that was a Square game. Square made that one, and they more than likely did that as a means of giving Mario more moves. We never see Luigi do it because Luigi learned the Thunder Hand in that game. So, what's Luigi's deal? I would agree with you guys if they continued to be able to shoot fireballs without the need of a fire flower in recent games. But the fact that in recent games he still needs the fire flower makes me disagree. So Phoenix Wright and Echo Apollo Justice. So are there any general issues with Phoenix Wright's moveset?
Okay, so I'm already seeing a couple people are asking, I guess as far as Echo Fighters go, why Apollo Justice and not Edgeworth?
Because Edgeworth is nothing like Phoenix Wright. Edgeworth he does have his moments, but he's very calm, very collected. He's not a klutz. He's very posh. On top of that, he's a prosecutor. He is very much, he has a lot of different tactics than Phoenix Wright. They do a lot of the same things. So if I ever go to get around to doing Edgeworth, he probably would be a form of semi-clone, yes. But I think in terms of an Echo Fighter, Apollo just made way more sense to me because Phoenix actually taught Apollo. Apollo is Phoenix's protege, his apprentice. Apollo learned all of Phoenix's techniques, so it would only make sense that in the court of law, they would do things in a similar manner. So that's why I felt it made more sense for Apollo. And plus, in Edgeworth's case, in terms of the helper character, so Maya/Trucy, the only character I could really think of that would make sense for Edgeworth is Detective Gumshoe, who we haven't even seen in a long time. And Gumshoe really wouldn't even be able to do a lot of the same stuff that we see Trucy and Maya do. Like, I do not know what shield or magic panties but he would use. Like, I don't know what reference he would use for that. Like, if I ever do make an Edgeworth video, K-Ferret, okay, I still need to play that game. I own Investigations, and I'm probably going to play that whenever I do get around to doing Edgeworth. So I know about K-Faraday. But I think Gumshoe just makes more sense, honestly. Like, when you think of who is like the right hand to Edgeworth, people think of Gumshoe. Semi-clone, I'd say, but I think in the case of an Echo Fighter, to me, Apollo just made way more sense. You know what, actually, another thing. Edgeworth doesn't have a special trinket power. He doesn't have a Magatama. He doesn't have the bracelet. So I don't even know what I'm going to do for that. I'll have to think of something else.
Liam Funnyman says, wouldn't the objection make more sense as a counter, since he is a defense lawyer?
I mean, I gave my reasoning for why I made the Magatama the counter, and I liked the idea of the objection being what I made it. In retrospect, how I built it could work as a counter, but the thing is, objections can be overruled. But how would it look with a counter? Like, would it just be like, he just puts his hand to his finger to his chin or whatever, and if he's hit, then he just objects? Like, you can throw out objections in the middle of court, but not necessarily have them work. That was kind of my logic behind that. Like, you can't just have him use an objection for the whole counter. He would only object if he's hit during the counter. But with objections, you can kind of throw them out wherever. Now, how objections work is that now whether or not they're good objections is a different story. That's why I had it be the way I did, a super armor ring attack you can throw out whenever you want. Because then if it misses, consider that an objection denied, or an objection overruled. Have Mr. Hat be the side special for Apollo instead of the magic panties. I like the magic panties reluctantly more, because in the context of them being a pocketing item, it just makes sense. Because Trucy uses them as a means of hiding stuff, and then like magicians do top hats. You put something into the top hat and make it disappear, or you pull something out of the top hat to make it appear out of nowhere. Like, that's what she's doing. That just makes more sense. Actually, I should also mention, speaking of Apollo, someone actually did bring up a contingency that I made with Apollo that I guess it is technically a mistake, so I'll bring it up here. Regarding Apollo's bracelet, in the video I said that the bracelet is what reacts to when people are lying, and it tightens around Apollo's wrist. When in fact, the reverse is true. What it actually is that Apollo himself is very just astute to lies. Like, Apollo's own body tenses up whenever someone lies. The thing is, normally it's unnoticeable to him, but what happens is that the bracelet that he wears is so snug on his arm that whenever his body tenses up, the bracelet tightens around his wrist. So it's not really his bracelet tightening, it's his wrist inflaming, tightening around the bracelet. So that's what it is. So, my mistake on that. Same thing, really? Yeah, kind of. Like, the same guy also brought up how, this is another point, how Apollo's, the costume where Apollo wears the eye patch and the coat, the reason why he wore the eye patch was because he was trying to avoid, his power from working, because his abilities can only work when he has both of his eyes. So when he covered one of his eyes up, he wasn't able to sense the lies anymore, for some reason. So really, technically, the counter wouldn't work with the costume, but even the person in the comments said that that's a really hand-wavy thing. Like, it's not that big a deal. It's just a costume. So then, Paper Mario. So let me get one thing out of the way real quick. No, I do not think there could have been a Super Paper Mario set, because the pixels, there really weren't enough pixels to really work with how I made the moveset. If I made the moves differently and incorporated them better to be able to fit everything, maybe. But the thing is, the pixels were for the most part so drastic to the first two games as partners that I really couldn't think of what to do to be able to make it so that all three of them could work. I tried. Like, that was the big reason why I included throw for for his grab, just so we can have something for Super Paper Mario. Is that B should have turned to a paper airplane and fly? Paper airplanes can't fly up. That's not how those work. Paper air, like, even in the game, paper airplanes in Paper Mario, they don't fly up, they glide. Like, that's not how paper airplanes work. Can I please go into detail as to why Sticker Star sucks? It's a very boring game. Here's my big thing on Sticker Star. It wasn't that well designed. Leveling up was completely removed in the game. The only real pseudo means of leveling up in the game is finding hearts to increase your health. And you don't find those through battle. You don't get that through battling. You find that you find those randomly in the overworld. And what happens with battling is that in order to battle, you need to use stickers. You have to have stickers in order to battle. So whenever you battle, you use up stickers. And whenever you use a sticker, you can no longer use that sticker. It's gone. How do you get more stickers? You have to buy them. Either you buy them or you find them in the overworld. How do you get the coins to buy more stickers? By battling. You get money through beating enemies, which you needed the stickers in order to fight in the first place, which you needed the money. It's a terrible vicious cycle. There's literally no incentive. There's no incentive to battle. You can literally skip all the battles in the game, and nothing's lost. That's the thing. And to me, that just made battling feel like such a waste of time. That was a big detractor for me. Like, I could not finish Sticker Star because I was just so bored while playing it. Aesthetically, it's fine. It's a great looking Paper Mario game. Like, they really amped up the Paper Mario-esque. What did disappoint me was their lack of the spreaded NPCs. Like, that was the game where they started going back to just using multicolored toads that look the exact same, just different colors. Whereas in previous Paper Mario games, and you guys, you watched me do the Paper Mario Let's Get on Spiffy No Geeks, guys, you can attest to this. All the NPCs were so unique. Like, and 1000 Year Door, they exasperated that. It was awesome. And don't even get me started on Super Paper Mario. All the NPCs in Super Paper Mario were amazing. And then they took a step backwards for Sticker Star. I don't know if that was because it was on the 3DS, but regardless, Sticker Star was just a very boring game to me. That's all I can say to that.
Funky Thor says the third Final Smash that you came up with should KO opponents at 100% and not 70.
The fan I had it where it KOs you if you get too high, if you get only at 70 damage. The reason why I had it do that is because it doesn't deal any damage at all. It'd be a Final Smash that is only a win box. It deals no damage. Like, unlike other Final Smashes that can KO at over 100, the reason they do that is because they do deal a lot of damage. Like, Ridley's, I think, deals like 40 damage. So, how much does Ridley's do? Let me double check that. Yeah, Ridley's Final Smash. Actually, the dash that he does deals 15% of damage. And then the Final Smash itself deals 40% of damage, meaning that Ridley's Final Smash in total deals 55% of damage. And it kills you if you reach 100, meaning that you only need to be at 45% of damage for Ridley's Final Smash to kill you.
Oh.
So yeah. Keep that in mind, guys. In fact, let's look at Zelda's, actually. Yeah, Zelda's is even worse, because Zelda draws you in. How much does Zelda's do? Oh! So, being drawn into it deals 7% of damage. The startup of it after being drawn in does 3 damage. That's 10% of damage. And then the whole Final Smash deals 60% of damage. Zelda's deals 70% of damage at max, meaning she only needs to catch you at 30 and you're dead. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are saying that mine are busted? I'm making mine tame. I promise you on that one.
Compared to them, I'm like a saint.
Now, that said, I did have one idea. Going back and looking. If there was one thing I were to change, there was something I wouldn't mind. For Mario's Up Smash, that was one that I had to innovate because I couldn't think of anything else for it. But then I went back and looked and had an idea for it. There's a sticker / card. I forget which game. I'm not sure how accurate this is. But I believe there is an attack where Mario actually does get a helmet with a little spike on it. So there could be an attack where Mario puts on a spiked helmet and does a quick jump. with that spiked helmet being what hurts. So that can be a smash attack, like his up smash. Like, that was an idea that I had after I put the video out, so that could work. Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and move along. Final character. Undyne. So, any issues with Undyne? Down smash should be a reference to the date, destroying her pot? No. Well, remember, Undyne, when she's fighting you, she's actually fighting you. Like, when Undyne fights, she's trying to kill you. Like, there wouldn't be too many jokey, like, super jokey moves. Like, she's actually trying to beat you up. Her boulder had too much armor? I disagree. Like, it'd have about the same as, like, King Dedede. Plus, it'd probably be a really slow attack, too.
Aren't her spears the same as Frisk's down smash when she's in genocide mode?
Yes, they are. Like that, like, cause I made the Frisk move set. Well, no. Frisk's, the spears only showed up for Frisk's neutral mode. The genocide mode had it be Sans' bombs. But I also made that move set way before I thought I was ever going to be doing Sans, Papyrus, or Undyne at all. The Frisk moveset does mostly assume that Frisk would be the only character getting in. So, assuming Papyrus, Sans, and Undyne were to get in as well, those moves would probably change. Right, okay, I saw someone brought that up. The suplexes. So, I called all of Undyne's throws suplexes, but some people brought to my attention that not all of those are actually suplexes. Like, the German suplex, the back throw, is technically the only suplex that was there. Apparently, pile driving and then whatever the shoulder one is aren't even suplexes, so that's my bad. Sorry, I'm not very good about wrestling terminology. I just figured that a suplex was just you picking somebody up and then slamming them into the ground.
Some people are saying the Undyne shouldn't even be in here because that's considered spoilers.
Sheik? Mecha
Fiora? This is true. Yeah, Sheik being Zelda, that's technically considered a spoiler for Ocarina of Time.
Like,
but that was allowed.
The big thing here was that Undertale... When did Undertale come out? Like 2015?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
It's nearly a 4-year-old game at this point. Almost everyone knows about it. And I'm half on, half off about Undyne, about spoilers. I feel like certain spoilers shouldn't be shown if they're major, and if they wouldn't even contribute to the moveset. But if something that's considered a spoiler is a major part of the moveset, then I feel like there's nothing to be done then. Like, technically, Frisk's name being Frisk is a spoiler. But if Frisk were to get into Smash, they wouldn't just call them the human, or they wouldn't call them Kara. Their official name is Frisk. They would be called Frisk. I think her HP is too high on Undyne, maybe 130. No. You do not want 130 per stock. Because she's a heavyweight. She'll, with where I put her, she'd more, on average, around 180 is where she'd be dying at. If she were at 130, she'd be coming Undying way too soon, and then she'd be breaking all the fights. Undying, while not as busted as they made Sans, who would be much harder to get than Undying, because with how I set up Papyrus and Sans would be much harder to come out than how I made Undying. But Undying also would not be nearly as strong as I made Sans. Sans, of course, would be easy to kill, but he'd be hard to hit, and his attacks would be hard to get through. Undying would have the same exact moveset as normal Undying, but she would just be a little bit better. She'd be better and harder to kill. But you do not want her coming out early because then, remember, she's designed to be the last-ditch effort kind of deal. I am laughing about how people are calling Undertale the Fire Emblem of my What If series. Like, okay? Like, I did find it kind of interesting that people were, complaining about me doing Undyne, saying, why did you bother doing her? Who asked for her? The 500 plus people who requested? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's a reason you put a counter at the beginning of the video to showcase that people actually want these characters.
Like, she was my most requested character.
She got more than Cuphead.
Yeah. But yeah, so that will pretty much do it for this stream. For this stream, guys, I had a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do it. So thank you all so much for joining us once again. My best buds, Danny and Ryan. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Yay.
So with that said, thank you all so much for watching. And on Hat Kid, we will see you all next time. Oh no, that's Bo Kid now. Goodbye.